be an intercontinental ballistic missile.
The book of Sirach, chapter 21 and verse 1. My son,
but those things which God before had shewed by the mouth of all his
Why do we live in these conditions? Because these are not good conditions.
That's idolatry, because we are a rebellious people right now.
So you ever ask, like, why do we get persecuted? How can we get defined? But our people are so destroyed, they actually think that this is normal. This is not normal. You know, it's not normal to be out here with trash all over the place. You got bullet holes at the bus stop. You got people passed out, either drunk or on drugs. This is not normal. This is a bad condition. So why do we live like this? The brother's going to show you. Just give him a few minutes. Show him why we curse, so he can understand the importance of knowing who you are, and more importantly, what we can do to lift these curses, because that's what he's teaching.
What you gonna do in the kingdom? I'm just trying to reach the masses. Babylon burns, but when they do it, turn to ashes. Flames of fire in the sky, you can't imagine. And when the king returns, he swing a sword and slay the dragon.
Right, we gotta keep the commandments. You gotta know the commandments.
These brothers, at ease. So the brother was bringing out a lot of good knowledge, right? So why are we out here? We out here to wake up you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You children of the slave trade. You brothers and sisters out here whose great-grandmothers and great-grandfathers was put in the slave ships, was put in the cotton fields, was whipped. Since Obama passed that transgender law, that marriage law, it's heavy in D.C. And it's a sin according to the Bible. And we become so desensitized to it, it's like when we see it, it's like, well, that's them. Let them do them. No. Our brothers that's out here in a homosexual spirit, effeminate spirit, we out here to warn you brothers to come out of that. For our sisters out here that's in that lesbian dyke spirit, we out here to warn you to come out of that spirit. That's right. Because two men laying down with one another can't progress the nation. Two sisters laying down with one another cannot progress the nation. The black and Latin woman was made with the black and Latin man, and that's how God created it. He did not create two men to lay down with one another. Are you familiar with Sodom and Gomorrah? What happened? What happened in Sodom and Gomorrah? But what particular act was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah? The homosexuality. When you read the history of Sodom and Gomorrah, when the two angels came to save Lot and his family, the homosexuals in that area, they tried to rape Lot. They even tried to rape the angels. And that's why God had to destroy it. So likewise here in D.C., which is spiritual Sodom, which is spiritual Gomorrah. Why? Because we was born here as slaves over here on this side of the world. When you go downtown, you can go right down 14th Street. When you look at the obelisk, the monument, that comes from Egypt. Read it again.
The shoe of their countenance, their witness against them, and they declared their sin as Sodom. They hide it not.
And they hide it not. Within the past few weeks, we've been having pride parades. That's what it means, they hide it not. They hide it not. They declare their sin as Sodom. They openly saying, God, I know that homosexuality is wrong. We know that we ain't supposed to be doing this, but guess what? We're going to do it any damn way. You spitting in God's face, and then you wonder why your children getting gunned down. You wonder why you contracted AIDS, HIV, syphilis, gonorrhea, blue waffle. You wonder why we keep getting the low-end jobs. Then you wonder why we keep getting poor housing, poor education, because of our disobedience and willful pride against God. Who knows how we got on here on this side of the earth? My man over there in the wheelchair. How did we get over here on this side of the earth, bro? How are our people transported over on this side of the earth? And I'm only asking because we need to interact with our people. So y'all don't feel like we just out here talking. You don't know? I'm going to show you, bro. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Start at verse 15. Hold on, reader. Because unbeknownst to a lot of you, say what? You say we weren't transported over here by ships? Okay, bro, I'm going to show you something. The pastors are not showing you this. The pastors just want your money. The pastors are willfully keeping our brothers and sisters in sin. They're not showing you what's in this Bible to save your life. Why? Because they so worried about their pockets. They worried about the status quo. Now watch this, bro. I'm going to show you that slavery was prophesied to happen before it even happened. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all these commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So, brother, a curse is a bad thing, right? Curse is a bad thing, you would say, right? Okay, now watch this. We're going to get one curse. And I want to see if we can identify this curse with what we've been through historically. Somebody give me the sign with the slave ships. Somebody give me the sign with the slave ships, the slave route. Right here. Somebody hold it up for that brother. Hold it up for that brother. I want you to pay attention to this sign. Now as we read these curses, I want you to see if this identifies us. Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So it says the Lord shall bring the Israelites into Egypt again with ships. Now, the first time we went into Egypt, we walked. If you know the history. We walked into Egypt. Why? Little historical tidbit. I don't know if you knew this or not, brother, but I'm going to just say it anyway. Israel, the land of Israel, right, has always been a part of Africa. There is no Middle East. The Middle East is a fictitious place that does not exist. Israel has always been a part of Northern Africa. Right? Around 1850, the mid-1800s, right, they created what's called the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal was a canal that separated Israel from Africa to make you think that we're not part of that land. Right? That's what happened. Read on.
With ships.
It says with what?
With ships.
It says now the second time we go into Egypt, which is America, we're going to go in with ships. Look at this sign right here, bro, that the brother's holding up. Look how we was packed in cargo slave ships. Because a lot of people will say, well, the slave ships don't exist. Well, to a point, you're correct. Because we were packed in cargo slave ships. These cargo slave ships were used to transport food. These cargo slave ships were not meant to pack people in like sardines. Yes, please come closer, bro. Please come closer and view the sign. Read it again from the top.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
It says, and he shall bring us into Egypt again with ships. How did we get over here to America? By cargo slave ships. How did our so-called Latino brothers and sisters get to Central and South America? By slave ships.
From about 1525 to 1866, 12.5 million Africans were taken from their homeland and forcibly shipped across the Atlantic. A journey that almost 2 million of them wouldn't survive. By the turn of the 18th century, European merchants were building vessels capable of transporting hundreds of slaves per journey. These ships had extra portholes for ventilation, weapons mounted on deck in case of rebellion, and additional compartments added below deck to take on more human cargo.
Because they took us off the western shores of Africa by the millions. Read.
With ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee.
It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. So the way that Moses was explaining it to us back then was the way that it happened. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
And we haven't seen our land Israel for centuries, bro. You got fake Jews over there that's taking our land. That's taking over our land right now. They over there defecating in the streets. They over there got pride parades over there. They celebrating Christmas and all type of abominations in there, in our homeland. But the black and Latin man in America, oh, you think 14th and Irving is your hood. You think 14th and Columbia Road is your hood. You think Clifton Terrace is your hood. That ain't your damn homeland. That's your project house. You renting. Them ain't your neighborhoods. Look what they doing to Berry Farms. Berry Farms is done. Berry Farms is done. It ain't coming back no more. I'm from Rhode Island and Saratoga. Saratoga is done. They knocking all that down. Ain't none of that coming back up. So how you gonna call this your homeland when they knocking down your homes? This is not our rest. Somebody give me from Babylon to Timbuktu. Let me show you something, bro. Give me the Jewish when they knocked down when they conquered Jerusalem. Let me show you something. So we just proved in the Bible to you, bro, that slavery was prophesied before it even happened. I think it's like page 84. Page 84. Our homeland is Jerusalem. It's always been Jerusalem, right? During 70 AD, sister, Jerusalem was conquered. It was a 7-year war. They surrounded the city. They cut off food. They cut off water. They cut off anything going out and anything coming in. So we had to resort to cannibalism, which is also prophesied in the Bible. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 28, I think it's 53 or somewhere around there. Watch this. The fall of Jerusalem was prophesied in the scriptures before it happened. This is our history. This is what they're not teaching your kids and your grandkids in the school system. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body.
It says, and thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body. Why? Because the white Romans, they conquered Jerusalem and they cut it off. So we had to resort to eating our own children. Now, give me from Babylon to Timbuktu. Read.
This is a book from Babylon to Timbuktu, page 84. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
So in 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey, they captured Jerusalem. Read.
In 70 AD.
It says in 70 AD, 5 years later, sisters at the elevator, I want y'all to listen while y'all wait. Read.
General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Because unbeknownst to you sisters, y'all are the real Jews. Unbeknownst to you black man, you are a Jew. Y'all are the real Jews. You sisters walking around in pants, you brothers walking around with your pants hanging off your ass, with tattoos all over your face, you are the Jew. You are God's chosen people. And don't you ever let nobody tell you different, because God said so. Read.
Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter.
With great slaughter, to the point we had to eat our own children. Read.
During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
Why does it say many atrocities were committed against the residue of the people? Hold that. Give me that in Luke 21 where Christ told them to flee out of the city. This is why Christ told us to flee out of Jerusalem, because Christ knew that destruction was coming to Jerusalem. And he prophesied to us to leave the city, or anybody that stayed or tried to fight against Rome, you would be killed. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies.
And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, we just read it. The scholars know something that you don't know, brothers and sisters. Black and Latino brothers and sisters. They know your history. You can get this book off of Amazon for like less than $5. This is your history. The scholars are only backing up what's already prophesied in the scriptures. Read.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is not.
And then you know that desolation is coming. Then you know that it's time for you, that it's time for your end to come. Read.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
It says, let them which are in Judea, that are in Jerusalem, flee to the mountains. What are those mountains? Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 2, verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt.
flee into Egypt. That's those mountains, brother. Why? Because like I said before, Israel and Egypt are right next to each other. So for him to say flee into Egypt, okay, all you got to do is pack up your family and go. Read it again.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Okay, let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Christ has given us a warning. You blacks and Latinos, Christ has given us a warning. Read.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out.
And let them which are in the midst of Judea depart out. Read.
And let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
So if you're in the outskirts of Jerusalem, you better not go back into Jerusalem, because it's going to be a bad day for you. Read.
For these be the days of vengeance.
For these be the days of vengeance. Why did Christ call it the days of vengeance? Because of sin. God got tired of us sinning. So he had to do something. He had to do something to wake us up. Slavery is a result of sin.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.